Hello and welcome. Thank you for being here today. I'm Eric Hodel, CEO of Midwest Food Bank, and we are honored to have you here with us as we share plans and the positive impact of the Illinois Eats grant. This grant award funding will be a blessing to Midwest Food Bank and other organizations throughout the state of Illinois. We are encouraged and grateful for the innovative funding approach because it will bolster agricultural community and help battle food insecurity in our communities throughout the state. Both of these aspects are rooted in Midwest Food Bank. We were founded on a family farm 20 years ago, and today we continue to put our faith in action, serving food pantries across the nation. At Midwest Food Bank, our mission is to share the love of Christ by alleviating hunger and malnutrition. As an organization, we are committed to the efficient and innovative execution of our services and programs. The Illinois Eats grant is a perfect fit toward these goals. Midwest Food Bank rescues and sources over $480 million of food annually with 10 locations nationwide. This food is provided to our 2,400 agencies free of charge as they faithfully serve 1.3 million food recipients each year. The Midwest Food Bank Peoria and Normal, Illinois divisions will receive the Illinois Eats grant funding, so it's my pleasure to introduce Amy Beam, the Executive Director of our Normal, Illinois location, to show us more on how this will impact and benefit our communities. Amy?
Thank you. Well, thanks, everyone. Excuse me. What an exciting day to be in Illinois. I can't think of a more positive example of a forward-thinking collaboration than one that unites the state resources with the ag community, with the food bank community, and the key distributions in between. As a lead agency, Midwest Food Bank looks forward to creating real and meaningful improvements and building resiliency in the food system with this funding. Our business model is simple and it's transparent. We procure and we rescue food, and we leverage a skilled network of volunteers to distribute to food pantries, to nonprofit organizations, and to schools at no charge. From our locations in Peoria and in Normal, Illinois, we supply food to 827 nonprofit agencies every single month. We serve from the southern tip of Illinois to north past Chicago, and those 800-plus agencies serve 222,000 Illinois neighbors in need every single month. So, the funds from this Illinois Eats program will allow us to purchase a great deal more fresh, healthy produce and grains and meats from qualifying farmers, ranchers, and growers to supply nutritious, life-sustaining food to our diverse clientele. Access to healthy, nutritious food is life-critical, and it impacts everything from the brain development of our children to the health and the wellness of our elderly and everything in between. So working together, I am confident that we can strengthen our food supply, we can strengthen our distribution systems, and Midwest Food Bank is honored to be a part of the solution. Now with that and more reflections on this great program, I have the honor to introduce our governor, Governor Pritzker.
Well, thank you very much. It is really great to be here today. I just want to make it clear how important the work is that you do. So many of you engaged in food banks across the state of Illinois, especially being right here at the Midwest Food Bank, just reminds me that there's so much goodness in the people of Illinois serving each other. And it's important for the state to be your allies in doing that. And I'm proud of the work that's being done. Alongside me today, a few other people standing here, the Department of Agriculture Director, a really great leader for our Department of Ag, who has been going to the federal government every day to try to get more for the state of Illinois. And that's part of the job, in addition to serving our farmers and the farm communities across the state, and that's our great director, Jerry Costello. Our Department of Human Services Secretary Dulce Quintero has only been in the job for a few months now and is easily the happiest member of our cabinet. All the time you'll find that out momentarily, but she's also somebody who has spent her life really serving people in need across our state. Our Assistant Dean of Family and Consumer Sciences at the University of Illinois, Jennifer McCaffrey. Morton Mayor Jeff Kaufman, who just in 5 minutes behind the scenes here convinced me I should move here, and leaders of two nonprofit agency partners of ours, Claire Crone from Sophia's Kitchen in Peoria and Gloria Ranney from Grace Cafe in Pekin. We're gathered here today to celebrate yet another investment to address food insecurity here in this region and throughout the entire state of Illinois. Here's the problem that we're working to solve. Nearly 3.3 million Illinoisans live in a food desert, leaving families with few options when it comes to putting food on the table. We can and must do better in our state, especially for our rural communities, because food access is fundamental to healthy and prosperous communities and families. So my administration has searched for innovative ideas and best practices from across the nation and from within the community of food banks that we have here. And I've taken a holistic approach to dramatically expand food access for Illinois families. Here's what we've done so far. We established the Farm to Food Bank program to acquire and distribute fresh fruits and vegetables, meat and poultry, dairy and eggs from our Illinois farmers to food banks across the state. And that is getting some momentum finally. We broadened SNAP food assistance, allowing seniors and those with mobility challenges to access grocery shopping options online. And we created the Illinois Grocery Initiative, a bipartisan, first-of-its-kind investment to assist underserved rural towns as well as urban neighborhoods to help them keep existing grocers afloat, the small grocers that we all know and love, and support new ones in Illinois' food deserts. Well, today I couldn't be prouder to announce our most recent effort to make sure that Illinoisans have access to quality, nutritious food. Thanks to the cooperation and support of the United States Department of Agriculture, the Illinois Eats program is dispersing nearly $29 million in grant funding to 15 food organizations serving families across our state. And here's how it works. First, the program purchases food at fair market value directly from socially disadvantaged farmers, and then our providers, like Midwest Food Bank, will distribute at no cost the locally sourced food to people in communities in need. Illinois Eats is lifting up both ends of Illinois' food supply chain, from our farmers to our most food insecure residents. None of this would be possible without the amazing dedication and work of so many food banks. I won't be able to name all of you. The Northern Illinois Food Bank, the Greater Chicago Food Depository, St. Louis Area Food Bank, Midwest Food Bank, and I see a shirt underneath that I'm going to read. It's the Eastern Illinois Food Bank. You can see I'm losing my sight as I get older, but I can't thank you enough. I mean, it really is the work of our food banks and people who care about addressing food insecurity that's making all the difference in our state. And this program is a win-win for our agriculture industry and for our families. And I'm truly grateful to our U.S. Agriculture Secretary, Tom Vilsack, who's a friend of mine for a long time and was the former governor of Iowa, so he knows something about the Midwest and the challenges that we may face across our agricultural community. And the USDA team, I want to thank them for their support in helping realize our vision of healthier, more prosperous Illinois families and communities. So with that, it's my distinct pleasure to turn over the podium to a champion for Illinois families and farmers, former state representative, and someone who genuinely cares about the people that he serves, and that's our great Department of Agriculture director. I was about to say secretary. We don't call them that in Illinois. I don't know why, by the way. We need to change that. But our Department of Agriculture director, Jerry Costello. Jerry.
Thank you, Governor Pritzker. The governor and I are close to the same age, and I've been fighting using these for about 4 or 5 years, Governor, so I get it. I would also like to thank the governor. When we first talked and he invited me to join the administration, one of the key things that he spoke to me about was collaboration. And the collaboration between agencies in state government, having been around state government for a number of years prior, that's something that never occurred at the level that it does today. So thank you for your leadership, for your guidance. That also goes to our collaboration with the federal government. That being said, I'd like to thank the USDA, as the governor did, for the cooperative agreement that allows for local food purchase assistance grants of nearly $29 million. This project has been in the making for years, and I'd like to start by acknowledging a few key people. The governor acknowledged them a few minutes ago, but I want to make sure that I do as well. Jennifer McCaffrey with the University of Illinois Extension, Stephanie Bess and Melanie Kluzek with Illinois Department of Human Services, Christy Jones, the Deputy Director of the Illinois Department of Agriculture. She has spearheaded this for the last couple of years for the department. We would not be where we are today without Christy Jones's work. Also, Dakari Howard, who's in the back over here, he's our Senior Policy Advisor at the Illinois Department of Agriculture. He's been instrumental in helping us form relationships and to build this program out. I'm so proud of this team of people and where we are today. I can tell you this has taken a while to get here, but it's more important to do it right than just get it done, and this program is being administered in the correct way. How about a big round of applause for that team, please? This is an innovative program, and as the governor mentioned, it lifts both ends of the food supply chain, the farmers and families experiencing food insecurity. We knew from the outset that the success of this program depended on input from key stakeholders, the people that are boots on the ground, closest to the issue that we knew needed to be addressed. As a result, we conducted 30 listening sessions across Illinois to identify the most pressing needs for our food system. More than 300 people attended these community-based organizations who distributed food in underserved areas, as well as organizations who support the food supply chain, farmers, and stakeholders. One consistent theme was voiced from producers and growers, and that was the challenge to identify new markets for their products. That's why LFPA is so innovative. It identifies new opportunities for socially disadvantaged farmers and lowers the point of entry into the agriculture industry. And those same opportunities empower food banks, schools, churches, and other nonprofits to distribute fresh, local food where it is needed in the greatest way, form, and fashion. Urban agriculture is uniquely positioned to impact the health of local communities, both physically and economically. With this grant, local farmers will sell products at fair market value that will in turn be shared with food insecure families at no cost. The LFPA grants will also be sensitive to the needs of the communities we serve by providing culturally responsive food, respectful of customs and traditions that make each culture unique. A grant of this size is truly life-changing, and we are grateful for the opportunity to lift up underserved growers and farmers in Illinois and better position them to build new relationships, strengthen local communities, and ultimately work to end food insecurity. Thank you for all of those who have accepted these grants with the promise to support farmers and feed the hungry And thank you to those in the room today who will deliver on that promise. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Secretary Quintero of the Illinois Department of Human Services. Thank you.
Wow, I love the energy in the room. Hi, everyone. So I want to first thank you, Director Casella, for the wonderful welcome and introduction. It is always so humbling and energizing to be in space with such dedicated community, and I can feel it in the room. I feel the dedication here, and I want to give a special shout out to our host, the Midwest Food Bank, for having us here. Thank you, Eric Hodo, Amy Beam, Krista Staley, and your teams for all that you do. Shout out to them. We are so proud of the work and excited to see what this partnership will do for the people of Illinois. Food insecurity is a reality for 8% of Illinois residents. That is about 1 million people. And food insecurity disproportionately impacts communities of color, children, older adults, people with disabilities, and people experiencing homelessness are also hit the hardest. Some of these communities are already lacking equitable access to quality health services, housing, and education. Access to nutritious, fresh food items should not be part of that list. Grantees like Midwest Food Bank will ensure that families are covered and receiving meals from local growers and farmers who have also been historically underutilized. To our growers and farmers who will take part of this important work, thank you, thank you. As the child of migrant farm workers, I've seen this firsthand, and all the dedication, the love, and physically demanding work that goes into harvesting food. The product of your hard work will nourish families right here in your own communities. I am a firm believer that food, nutritious food, is like medicine. It helps prevent illnesses and hastens recovery. And that nurturing should be in early life and continue through the old age. Governor Pritzker has also made that very clear, from ensuring pregnant people have the resources they need for their babies to thrive, to funding early childhood education, and now securing access to food. Now, this is truly a holistic approach to build food systems from the community and for the community. It is my pleasure to introduce Jennifer McCaffrey. Where are you, Jennifer? The Assistant Dean of Family and Consumer Sciences at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign.
Thank you. As part of the University of Illinois Extension, it has been a pleasure and a privilege to be part of the Illinois Eats Local Food Purchasing Assistance Project. Over the past year, we have met small and mid-sized farmers who are looking to expand their markets and get into growing their business in terms of their food operation, as Director Costello mentioned. We also met organizations who are working on nutrition security, and they described the need that they really needed fresh, locally grown products, that was rare for families to find at the food pantry. We heard the struggles across the food system, from the farmers to the consumers. And being part of this project, we aim to create a network that can build sustainable businesses that drive the Illinois food economy to feed our residents. Those who are part of the project will not only sell and receive food, they will be part of a larger system, receiving informational resources and working collaboratively. I think many of us mentioned the word collaboratively, and that is the key to strengthening the supply chain. As someone who grew up in farming and now professionally works as a registered dietitian, This is a dream to see locally grown products help address nutrition security. For individuals and families facing hardships, fresh, locally grown food can be really hard to come by, especially foods that meet their dietary needs and preferences. In the year to come, I can't wait for families to taste the Illinois-grown products and meet their farmers, their neighbors who grew it, to smell, to taste, and to cook with these Illinois products. It is our goal that they eventually become buyers and ask for these products at schools, hospitals, and other community organizations to buy Illinois products as well. I'm excited for those who receive this funding. I've seen them put the hard work and bring their visions to life in their grant applications, and we look forward to working with these awardees, putting this project into action in the coming year. Congratulations to all the awardees. And now I get to introduce Mayor of Morton, Jeff Kaufman.
It is, ladies and gentlemen, my sincere privilege and honor to welcome the Governor Pritzker to Morton, Illinois. Governor?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And, we gather and we're discussing this very important initiative, Illinois Eats. And the program will support our local farmers and our producers, but it'll also ensure our communities and the communities surrounding us with good, healthy, safe, fresh, nutritious food. And I will have to say, I think Governor Pritzker's commitment to the cause is commendable, and I'd like to thank you for that, Governor, because it starts from the leadership at the top. And to choose Morton, Illinois, where Midwest Food Bank is, it did start on a local farm in central Illinois. This is one of 3 locations. But it is also the culture of Morton. There are citizens in this community and surrounding, young, old, middle-aged, that come out here and volunteer their time, their energies, their resources, and this is a big hub for it. And it's part of Morton's culture. There's school groups, there's church groups that come here and really have embraced this facility and the purpose of what they're doing to feed the misfortunate. You also need to know a little something about Morton. Morton is the agricultural hub of central Illinois. It's also the agricultural hub of probably the Midwestern part of the United States and of the world. And the reason I say that is Precision Planning built a 510,000 square foot warehouse building in their worldwide shipping department. And what they do is they ship that product all over the world. They have salesmen in about every country in the world. And that product they ships to the farmer. The farmer puts that product on their equipment. And the sole purpose of that is that each acre of farm ground provides more food to feed the world. The founders of Precision Planning, one goal, if you hear him speak, is he wanted to feed the world. So choosing this site, Governor, is so applicable. So I would like to say, and then being a part of this initiative, Illinois Eats is amazing, and all their facilities and all the others. And so now let us all support the Illinois Eats and in their mission to promote health, sustainability, and prosperity for all Illinoisans. So, Governor, thank you and your staff for coming to Morton today. You're welcome anytime. And I get the honor now of introducing Clara Crone of Sophia's Kitchen, which I have witnessed myself, the wonderful work she does in Peoria.
Wow. Well, let's talk about food. I'm hungry. What would it be like to not know where your next meal is coming from? Sophia's Kitchen is feeding 400 or more people each day, and every day seems to bring more people. Without Midwest Food Bank, I really don't know what we would do. We share whatever God gives us, and the generosity of Midwest makes sure that we always have enough to feed hungry people. The quality and variety are such a blessing, always allowing us to offer filling, nutritious food that people actually like to eat. Food is so healing. We caught a man trying to eat out of our dumpster recently. We told him, no, we can't do that. And we said, you have to come inside to eat. He didn't want to. He didn't feel worthy enough to come inside. But we persisted and insisted that he come in. He did, and then he started coming every day to eat. And then he disappeared. We didn't know what happened to him. We were worried about him, so we prayed for him. But last week he came in. He's clean, he's sober, and he's got a job. He said those days of being accepted and being fed restored both his body and his spirit. And it gave him the courage to go to rehab. He said that every soup that we offered him was so carefully made. He knew that somebody really cared. And if we cared about him, he should care about himself. He came back to thank us, and he wanted to give us half of his first paycheck. He didn't need to do that. We take everybody is welcome at Sophia's Kitchen. But it went further to restoring his spirit. Thank you to Midwest for providing us that healing food. You are changing lives, one meal at a time, by giving people the chance to make a better tomorrow. And now I'd like to turn it back to the governor.
Thank you. That is a hard act to follow. But I'm happy to take any questions from members of the media.
So, if
Yes,
I
sir.
heard correctly, the total was $29 million for 15 organizations, is that correct? How much of that is going to, I don't know if Eric could say this, how much of that is for Midwest Food Bank?
Approximately $5 million.
You may be it. So if you have another question, feel. Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
So, it says this helps growers that are underutilized in the state. Can you explain what you mean by that and how this program actually will help them?
I'm going to ask the director to come up and talk about that.
Absolutely. So the food will be sourced from historically underserved farmers. And Christy Jones, actually, I would love to bring her up for a second. And I wanted to do this earlier, but when I said Christy spearheaded this program, literally from the very first phone call that took place to where we are today, she has been the point person for this program in the state of Illinois. Christy, would you come up for just 1 second? And so, what we talked about earlier, it's $28.8 million from underserved farmers to food insecure Illinoisans. And Christy, if you could explain exactly what that entails.
Yeah, so socially disadvantaged is actually the federal definition, but we wanted to be more inclusive in Illinois. So we are using historically underserved farmers, and that's a self-certification. And just some examples are BIPOC farmers and growers, LGBTQ plus community, small business owners, veterans, disabled, and the list goes on, and you can find more of that on our website.
Governor?
Sure. Although I could stand here and brag about our staff all day long. I mean, amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
Governor, in your State of the State address, you called for a permanent elimination of the 1% grocery tax statewide. But the Illinois Municipal League has come out against this plan, and many mayors across the state have said this would result in significant revenue loss that would force either implement a local grocery tax or cut services. How do you respond to these concerns?
They will have the ability to reinstate a grocery tax locally if that's what they want to do. But this is about local control and also eliminating a regressive tax on everyone in Illinois, but especially those who are disadvantaged, those who are often left out and left behind. So, yeah, I think we need to cut taxes, especially for people who are just trying to go get food at a grocery store. It is time for us to eliminate it. I want to say one other thing. We're one of only 13 states left in the country that has a grocery tax. All the other states have gotten rid of it. And you ought to go look at the map and see which states are remaining. But, I mean, we're behind West Virginia at getting rid of a grocery tax, just to give you an example. We should be leading in this country. Illinois is a state where we care deeply about working families, about those who are low-income families, and frankly, those who don't have a job and may just have a little bit of money and go to the grocery store. And yeah, it's only $1 for every 100 that you spend, but that means a lot to people at the lowest end of the spectrum in terms of income. And so I'm, pleased and proud to have put this proposal forward, and always happy to talk to people about how we can help them locally to replace revenue. But the reality is I put $1.3 billion of state money, more than in past years, into local hands. And that's on top of billions of dollars that the state already sends to local governments.
But does this put local governments, local municipalities in a position of having to either give the appearance of raising a tax on their own or having to cut services?
So they're not willing to step forward and say that they want a grocery tax at the local level. They want the state government to do it, so they don't have to admit that that's what they want. Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm saying that they're going to look like they're either raising a tax or they're cutting services because the state has taken away.
Go talk to the Republican state legislators who, when I eliminated for a year during the highest inflation time that we've had in my lifetime, or at least in a long time, when I eliminated the grocery tax for a year, the Republican legislators said, you should make that permanent. They yelled at me. They held press conferences telling me that I'd done something terrible by only eliminating it for a year. And I thought about it for a long time and thought, yeah, this is the most regressive tax, the tax on food. So we should eliminate it. And frankly, I took their advice.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.